I'll return to interview Vanessa Cooper, Director of Operations for Charities Housing, which manages safe, decent, affordable rental housing for low-income and special needs households across Santa Clara County. I am delighted to be discussing affordable housing in the Santa Clara Valley. Our guest is Vanessa Cooper, Director of Operations for Charities Housing. Charities Housing builds and manages safe, decent, affordable rental housing for low-income and special needs households across Santa Clara County. Their most recent development is a 118-unit studio building in Mountain View, where 1/3 of the units are for people with special needs, including those living with HIV/AIDS. We will discuss how to access affordable housing, including housing prioritized for people living with HIV/AIDS. Welcome to the show, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So tell us about the process of how somebody who is living with AIDS or HIV can apply for housing.
Well, I think the first thing for individuals to do is to really look at what's in their community. So cities, for example, generally hold lists of affordable housing because they invest in affordable housing.
So go to the city's website probably and start there?
Absolutely. Go to the city's website, maybe even give them a call and ask them. But the most important thing is to find out what's available and whether they give any priority to people who are living with HIV/AIDS or with some other disability that perhaps might give them easier and faster access to that housing.
So your organization actually puts 1/3 of the housing aside for people with HIV/AIDS, is that correct?
Well, we put a third of our most recent building aside for people living with a variety of special needs, and that includes people living with HIV/AIDS. So a proportion of those are
developmental.
We have people who have developmental disabilities, mental health issues, people who are living with a physical disability, and actually also single parents under the state's definition for affordable housing count as a special need. But we are particularly interested in the HIV/AIDS community because they're less likely to approach us about this.
Now, why do you think that is? What's the stigma attached to that?
You know, I think there are two things. One is a stigma that clearly people don't want to come out or in effect disclose their status, and actually they don't have to disclose their status when they come. They just need to get a medical letter saying that they are eligible for the disability.
Well, that's huge. So if you're in that class, you don't have to disclose that. You get a letter probably from your doctor?
From your doctor, or in Santa Clara County, we recommend that you go to the Health Trust and they will refer you over.
Now, is there a threshold for income, or how is it decided whether you qualify? Are there different criteria?
Sure. There's actually a cap on income, so that's at what is called 50% of area median income. And just to give people an example, area median income for a family of 4 in Santa Clara County is actually $104,000. So
wow. So say that again, $104,000 is median income Santa Clara for a family of 4.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people probably qualify.
Well, we're actually looking at 50% of that. So for a family of 4, around 50,000. But again, there are people in that category who don't consider themselves eligible for low-income housing or affordable housing. So a lot of people do qualify. A lot of people who are working just 1, maybe even 2 relatively low wage or even medium wage jobs.
So where do you typically find people, or how do people, what's the best way for them to apply? Is there a website to go to, or?
Absolutely. In Santa Clara County, there's a website which is www.housingscc.org, and you can actually search that by the city you want to live in, the size of the unit, how much you want to pay.
So it's one of those websites that actually is beneficial, not one that just takes you somewhere else and around in a circle.
Absolutely. You can generate a list from there. Sometimes you have to get on a wait list, but what I say to people is there's no charge to be on a wait list. They can't charge you to be on a wait list, so be on as many as you possibly can.
So how many units are available now, or are you looking for folks to apply?
We actually, with our new building in Mountain View, just this week, we've currently finished renting up.
Okay.
But the truth is that in Silicon Valley, there's always turnover and change. Right. So I really do encourage people to contact us or go to that website if they are looking for housing currently. Charities Housing has housing from studios through to 3 bedrooms, and start making the inquiries. Even if you have to wait a little while, paying less rent is really worthwhile in the long term.
Absolutely. Let's talk just a quick second about you. How did you come to get to Charities Housing?
I came actually from a social services provider prior to this, and then before that I'd been in banking. So this is a nice kind of mix of really helping people, but also running properties and putting financing into building new properties.
That's great. Well, our time is up, believe it or not. So thank you for appearing on our show and for telling us about affordable housing in Silicon Valley. For those viewers who want more information, please look at your screen and you'll see the 2 websites that Vanessa referenced earlier. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.